Well, welcome back to another episode of Game On, brought to you by the American Hotel.
You're with Jess and Alison. This week, we're excited to meet our most recent Vic Country Inclusion Squad representative, Damien Cocks.
But before we meet him and find out who the other potential Big V representatives will be this season, we'll be wrapping up all the districts, football and netball, and Moama's under-14s join us for another round of Echuca Fashion Centre Workwear First handball competition.
Well, we also caught up with Rowan Priest, who retired after Saturday's game, and Echuca Junior Football Club's Tighe is going to bring you this week's fixtures.
Well, let's get underway. Game on.
Well, let's start the show with a look at the GVL, where Echuca made it 2 wins in a row with a 15-point win against Tighe.
Yeah, look, Andrew Briggs said it's given them a lot of momentum moving forward, and they've put them in red-hot contention for finals. They're just outside the top 6, only by percentage behind Rochester, and if they can get a good win this weekend over Seymour, it might not be long until we see them up there. It was a real up and down game against Tighe on the weekend, though. Echuca managed to get a run on at the start of every quarter, but then they just let the opposition back in the game. They won by 15 points in the end, but they had as much as 24-point lead in that last quarter. Skipper Jordan Florence, he missed the game this week just to rest up an injury from earlier in the season, but he should be back this weekend. But then you've got Rory Kirkby down there, again kicking 6 goals, and he's just been an absolute legend in that forward line. He's really been a lifeline for the Bombers in terms of goal scoring, and it's nice to see guys like Kane Morris and Simon Buckley getting that reward for all their hard work in the middle of the ground.
That's right, they're consistently amongst the best players, and when you look at some of the younger players, some of the talents coming through, a few of those TSC Cup kids were able to play this weekend with the weekend off from TSC Cup. So you've got Darby Henderson, Joby Ward making their debut for the senior team, and Mitch Kemp back as well. And I think all three of them were among the better players. So that shows you what young talent Echuca has. We'll move across to the Murray League, where Moama had an 18-point win against Cobram. It was another really strong performance from the Magpies to make it 2 in a row, but the story from the game is obviously Reece Archerton kicking 7 goals, 6 in the first half. He's moved forward in the recent weeks, and I think that's been huge for Moama. But again, it's about getting the ball in there into that dangerous forward line. They're clean all over the ground, moving the ball really well, which is huge. And I think they always really did have control of that game, 22-point lead at quarter time, and able to go on from there. So look, you could gloss over it because they did have a big win, but 3 goals, 13 in that second half is probably something they will need to tidy up in the future.
Yeah, they've done really well to adapt in that forward line with so many injuries. And also, one injury who won't be back this season is Jack Russell. He confirmed an ACL throughout the week, so he won't be back for the year, for the rest of the season. But, he's a 17-year-old kid, so he should be able to recover, and we wish him all the best for when he comes back next season. But it's been great seeing them playing a lot of that youth, and it's really a strength of Moama's club is their ability to play those juniors and how they really build them throughout the club. Another club who will be playing a lot more juniors, and that's Echuca United, who had quite the emotional game on Saturday. Club legend Rowan Priest announcing that it would be his last game on Friday night. So we've got that exclusive interview with Rowan coming up. He kicked 4 goals in the 31-point win over Denny Rams, but most of that came in the first half, so they actually moved him into full forward in the last quarter just to give him a bit more chances to get those goals, but that's when the goals sort of stopped, and I think it's because he does play such a crucial role for United through the middle of the ground in bringing that ball forward and really getting them up and about. Guy Campbell, he's now going to, I guess, force his hand to start playing some of those younger guys and not relying so much on the older head when it comes to selections. They were down by 5 points at quarter time, but a bit of fine-tuning saw them really take control of the game, and they looked really strong through the middle of the ground, and they're going to need to be strong again, especially with the next few games they've got coming up.
Yeah, that's right. Brilliant contributions on the halfback, Phil Hubbard, Corey Wanganeen. Pretty important for United to get that run and going to get the ball moving. But Priest, what a story. Last game, best on ground, and I think 4 or 5 goals. So a brilliant return from him. But as you said, Baruga and Nathalia, the next 2 games for United. So probably going, I'm not expecting to lose, but definitely as the underdog. So as Guy Campbell said, nothing to lose. It's sort of a free hit. If they win, that's great. But if they don't, it's sort of what's expected. We move across to Tonny now, and this was a really, I guess, a brave first half from Tonny. They did have a lead over Moala, but they did fall away in the second half. But look, Trav Edwards called it tough, disciplined, explosive and skillful football from that first half. And I think, when you're taking a 6-point lead against the top 4 side into halftime, that's a pretty good start to the game.
Yeah, but it's not just about having a good start to the game, and if they're going to start competing against those tougher sides, they really need to learn how to play for a full 4 quarters. They showed they've got that skill in the first half, but I guess in moving forward, that's what you'd want to start seeing from a side like Tongala, is that ability to play out the game, and I think if they can do that, they'll be able to compete against those top sides.
That's definitely right, and it's also definitely something that's going to come with experience. And when you look through some of these younger blokes that were, again, brilliant, Blake Mulholland and Nathan Tawney big in defence, Bailey Cox, Bailey Warstock important in the midfield, they're the players who, when you get 20, 30, 40 more games into them, they're going to start looking even better. But Ash Brood for Moala, 8 goals, he's the best forward in the Murray League at the moment.
Well, the Echuca Moama Senior Rockets, they had their first hit out a few weeks back when they headed to Wodonga to take on 3 other teams in the Northern Conference. They finished 3rd overall out of 4 sides, but the club's biggest success story has been that of Damien Cocks.
That's right, he's been selected into the Vic Country team to compete on the Gold Coast in the AFL National Inclusion Carnival on July 27. We caught up with him earlier this week to hear about his involvement in representative footy.
This will be my 2nd time. I've done basketball before with Vic Country.
Yeah.
But first time football. We had a training session for it on last Sunday at Huntley. There was 2 10-minute quarters, and the coaches were there and to see how we went.
I know you're quite good in the ruck. Is that where you often find yourself playing?
Ruck or fullback. This means you get rid of the ball as quickly as possible, height-wise.
And did you think you were going to be a strong chance to get picked?
Not really.
So a massive achievement there, especially at 40 years old.
That's right, and a little bit of other representative news. Moama's Mitch Eade and Echuca's Angus Byrne, they've been named in the initial training squad for the under-19 Vic Country team.
Yes, impressive achievement there. So let's take a look at the netball from the weekend now, starting with the GVL. Echuca securing a good win over Tatura. Casey Frame made sure that they never underestimated their opposition at the weekend, though. They kept the pressure up all game to not let the game slip away from them against Tatura. They were really strong in the first quarter, and they didn't allow the Murray Bombers to play their usual style of game, but the Bombers came out in the second half showing a lot more authority. They were 3 goals down into the final break, but they really came out firing in that last quarter, doubling Tat's score to win by 4 goals overall. They've got a winnable game coming up against Seymour, but it's percentage they'll be after, so they really need to capitalise under that ring.
Absolutely. Moving across to the Murray League, a 9th straight win for Moama, 63-23 over Cobram, and look, it's as comfortable as ever for Moama. Put their foot down as soon as the game starts, 8 goals up quarter time, 22 up at half time, and the game's pretty much over from there. But brilliant in the goal ring as usual, Georgia Groves and Steph Watson brilliant as usual, and the mid-court too, pretty strong. Charlotte Long, Ali Staley, Emily Taverna, brilliant. Maybe one of the biggest tests of the season coming up so far, coming up for Moama this weekend when they play New Merca, but they're 8-1. But from what we've seen from Moama, I doubt that'll be too much of a problem for them.
Yeah, look, and Echuca United, they had a pretty physical game this weekend against Denny Rams, especially in the Rams goal ring. Defensively, United, they've always been strong, but some silly mistakes from the Rams' younger players, like throwing balls into hands, a few rushed passes, meant that United were able to come away with a 31 goal win, which is quite comfortable in the end. United's attacking, on the other hand, they're just improving every week, and they were absolutely on fire at the weekend. Remy Day, she played an perfect wing attacks game. She was always an option on the ring, and she was feeding the ball into Sophie Atkinson beautifully, which made all the difference in the end.
Absolutely. Tongala 58 defeated Moala 31, so another win for 27 goals there. And again, missing players, the story for Tony. Only had 5 of their A-grade players available, which is always going to make things pretty tough, but they did well to get the win. They've just been looking to get those players back to really sort of start, developing, gelling as a team, and so they'll still be looking to do that. But this weekend they had to call up a few of the B graders, and they seem to do a fantastic job. Tracy Hughes, the pick of the players for Tony with her work in the ring, but Stacey McGill, who was one of the B graders who stepped up, she was brilliant in the ring with her, and I think that's something, a bit of a positive from missing those players. Alicia might have found a new combination going forward. Well, that's this weekend's netball. Now we're going to take a look at this weekend's fixtures with the Echuca Junior Football Club's Tighe Cole.
Hi, my name is Tighe and I play under 12s for the Echuca Junior Football Club. In the GVL this week, Echuca will play Seymour at Vic Park. In the Murray League, all our teams are at home this week. Moama will play Numurkah, Tongala will host an Eloquent, and Echuca United take on Barooga. In the Heathcote League, Leachville Gunbow will play Colborough away, and LBU play Mount Pleasant at home. In the Bacola League, Mafara play Bacola at United's home ground.
Thanks for that, Tighe. Well, before we get into another round of Echuca Fashion Centre Workwear First handball competition with Moama's under 14s, we bring you the interview that we've all been waiting for. I actually caught up with Rowan Priest earlier in the week ahead of his retirement from the game on Saturday, his final hit out against the Denny Rams, just to chat about his footy career and the reason why he chose to hang up the boots.
So 3 kids under 3, that was a big part of it. It was a combination of things. Uni as well, I got so much, priority shift. After a while, like 5 years ago, footy was always number one. 3 years ago, it was still number one before kids. And other things come into your life, and in the end, I sort of didn't have that same drive. Just the people here, I just love the people here. This club has meant a lot to me, and just being around it and meeting the people and winning that flag for them as well. The supporters, everyone's been here for so long. It meant as much to them as it did to us as players, so that's something I'll never forget. I was only going to stay here 1 year, but this club, the people, still here today. Met my partner at this club as well. I walked out of the rooms, I didn't expect people were lining up, and I couldn't look at anyone. That's probably when it hit. Walk in, and even now, I can walk back in now and look up at it and always feel proud. And this is this is the club that I love. And when my boys get old enough to understand that, for them to see a picture of me or my name up there and whatever, it's going to be an awesome moment when they finally sort of comprehend what that means and whatever, so I can't wait for it. I got all this thanks for me giving the service to this club, but I'm the opposite. I thank them for everything, because, as I said, this club's meant a lot to me, and the people in it are what I'll miss the most. Coming here, I can still come here and watch and whatever, but going out there putting that jumper on, that's what was all about for me, and representing the people that have, watching, that have played before, and the volunteers that are doing everything in the club that, that goes unnoticed to most, but it's just a massive thanks.
For that full interview, head to riverineherald.com.au. Now it's time for our Echuca Fashion Centre Workwear First handball competition. Hi, we're at Moama Junior Football Club for another round of Echuca Fashion Centre Workwear First handball competition. We're joined by Moama's under 14s Murray side. Before we get underway, we'll go over the rules once again. The guys get 3 handballs, top 2 players get through to our next round, the semi-finals. Let's meet the guys.
Hi, my name's Billy Barnes.
Hi, my name's Angus Baldwin.
My name's Ollie Connors.
Hi, my name's Costello.
Hi, my name's Zach Ross.
Barnes scoring 23, our highest score so far. Well done, Billy. And Kai Strobel on 15. They'll be heading through to our semi-finals later in the year.
Well, congratulations to Billy Barnes and Kai Stovall. They're going to be headed through to the semi-finals.
Well, that brings us to an end of another episode of Game On. Be sure to tune in next Thursday at riverineherald.com.au and through our Facebook page. And be sure to grab your edition of Monday's Riv to see if you're the American Hotel's next face in the crowd.
We're going to leave you today with some of the celebrations from the Moama Rec Reserve when Moama on Saturday recorded their 6th win of the season.